Welcome, sir.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Just I was just telling my boy that it feels strange because it's a long time to be back on the scene and doing the promos and doing stuff like that. Now it's podcasts like you and different type of things. So it's a little strange though, but I'm cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, you've been through it all. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because you somehow like. Not a lot of people can say that they have the longevity to have been through every like era of music in terms of like you went from cassettes to CDs to streaming, Napster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did all of it. Yeah, again, from 1988 to 2024, it's a long time.
That's a long time, man. And it was so many different hats, whether it's being a record executive, whether it's being behind the scenes producing records. It's just... It's a lot, man.
I flash back on it again. It's a blessed career to be having, and to still be here, and then being in front of y'all, doing with all the young people, and letting them know what time it is. A few things was going on, and it's all in the name of music.
Yeah. Well, like let me give you my. So I'm 37. I just turned 37. So when I was a kid, I first got hip to Def Squad.
Right, yes.
So that was how I was introduced to you, because I was a Redman fan.
Right.
And Method Man and Redman, and that's how I got hip to like Keith Murray. But I was the kind of kid who, I still have all of my Source magazines, all my XXLs. So I would go back and like do my research on the 5 Mike albums and stuff like that. So the first album of EPMD that I bought it used at the warehouse, and I think it was y'all's third album. It was the one that had the record with Redman and the record with LL.
Yes, that's third album. Yeah, Business as Usual, the Rampage. With
the cops on the front. Yep. And so that was my first introduction, because I always like knew who, EPMD. Right. So that was kind of like I had.
It's crazy that you mentioned that, because that ended up getting a full mic on that record.
Right. Yep. But it's funny, like just like my era of like hip hop was like late 90s.
No, of course. Yeah, I know.
Early 2000s. But I got to, I got to like kind of go back and like get the brand Nubian album and get all the Tribe shit and get the EPMD shit. And
right.
So, but nah, man, it's been dope to see just kind of like your like evolution. Talk to me about like the new project, because you're doing like collabs with everybody. I know the new single's got Salt and Pepper on it.
Right. Yeah, well, I had the idea of doing COVID time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So COVID stopped things, but before the Hip Hop 50, I always had ideas of just my colleagues not being here. I just figured that,
you never know.
All of us are still here.
Yeah.
Just because you got young people, we still have us that's living too. People want to hear music, but they stop making music. So I wanted to facilitate that. I wanted to be able to say, you know what? Let me make records on people that come from the era that people would love to hear if they was able to make music. So that's where the Dynamic Duels came into play at. So I wanted to get, of course, like it's like 25 rap groups.
Yeah.
That are duels.
Right.
So, but I just picked it for the volume 1, what I can get off now.
So for you, it was the inspiration was like, let me do this now, because I have this idea now, because like you said, during COVID, we were losing people. You never know when people are going to be here, not going to be here. Who all's on the project?
Yeah, the project is loaded.
It's loaded.
I got Biggie, Smalls, and Tupac. It's going to blow everybody's away.
Are these unheard verses?
It's not. I don't. To me, they are not unheard, but the way I put it together,
okay,
it just sounds new.
Okay,
Lil Wayne and Game, Mobb Deep, M.O.P., Red and Meth.
Do you have Mobb Deep and M.O.P. on the same song?
No.
Okay.
These are just dynamic duos. Don't forget 2 people.
Okay, 2 people on each song.
Okay.
And are you handling production?
Right.
Okay.
Cypress Hills, Dog Pound, EPMD, of course.
This is impressive so far.
8 Ball MJG.
Woo!
I think I caught everybody. I think. I mean, yeah.
That's a lot.
I said Snoop and Nate Dogg, right?
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Snoop and Nate Dogg?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. So for you, like, I always wonder as a producer, right? Like, if you know, like, let's say the Biggie and the Tupac song, do you already have that beat made, or do you get the verses and do you?
No, I have it. As a producer, you got records. You know what I'm saying? You make certain stuff. If you don't have it, then you make it.
I was gonna say, when you hear those 2 verses from Biggie and Pac, does that inspire you to make the beat off of those verses, or did you already have that?
No,
beat?
I already had something that I wanted. I wanted to make sure that I didn't want to make a regular record. I didn't want to make just a hip hop record. I wanted to rock, because both of them was best on melody and more R&B type situations. So that's what I based my thing on when I was making it. Like, okay, I want to make it a song, something that Biggie would rock on, something that Pac would rock on too. It felt comfortable, and most of them, they records are melody.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really the hip hop. You know, the kicking.
Well,
the door
we've
type
had
shit.
we have so many different attempts at well-known producers that we all love and know that haven't done the best job, I would say, with certain Tupac or Biggie records after they passed.
I like I said, for me, I just felt that it wasn't something that I was trying to do to make the biggest record. I just did what felt good to me.
Right. No, that's what I think. That's
so
what we want.
At the end of the day, it was.
We want something that I feel like it's all about. Like, if I could hear them like actually being on that record when they were alive, that makes it dope.
It makes it crazy because I think that they probably would have been friends later on.
Yeah.
I think that all that beef would have stopped eventually because of what they had before that.
Yeah.
But the way I did it, you would think they was in there together.
Oh, that's fire. I was gonna say, you had like a really early opportunity to work with Biggie, right? Before we really knew who he was. Is that?
I mean, my story is ill on artists because you do have quite
the ear.
But mine is documented as far as people talking.
Yeah.
Rick Ross on my basement, 50 Cent in my basement, fucking Ludacris on my door, the Game, Wu-Tang Clan, Raekwon says I almost signed with Erick. Like, I mean, this thing of mine's, what I was able to see, and Biggie Smalls on my first video set, too. Well, my man brought him to the barbershop.
Okay.
For me to see. And then when I shot Hitting Switches, my first single, he was around the whole time while I do every scene. Then he told Tracy Waples, like, yo, I want to go on that Erick Sermon album. But I already had artists already. And then I had my own group. So I wasn't trying to do something new. But at that time, I could have, probably would have had that.
Did you, because I know Biggie had like a buzz going around New York, but at that time, did you kind of see what eventually ended up coming to be? I
didn't. Again, my concentration wasn't on that because I had my own.
You had your own
crew.
shit you were put. Yeah.
I had my own crew. His squad was the biggest thing running.
Right.
So That's Effects, Redman, EPMD.
Yeah.
Was the biggest shit running. So it was like, so at the time, it wasn't me looking at anything else.